How rooftop solar is transforming Vietnam's factories. If you visit an industrial park in Vietnam today, you may notice something very different compared to just a few years ago. More and more factory rooftops are now covered with solar panels. What's interesting is that most of these businesses are not in the energy sector. They manufacture electronics, garments, food products, wood furniture, or construction materials. So why are they investing millions of dollars to turn their factory roofs into power plants? Is this simply another corporate sustainability trend, or is there a much bigger business reason behind it? To answer that question, we first need to understand how a manufacturing plant consumes electricity. Most factories operate primarily during daytime hours. Coincidentally, this is also when rooftop solar systems generate their highest level of electricity. In other words, the peak production of rooftop solar aligns almost perfectly with the period when factories have their greatest electricity demand. This allows manufacturers to consume the electricity generated directly on site without relying on long-distance transmission. The result is lower electricity purchases from the grid and greater control over energy costs. That is precisely why rooftop solar is such an ideal solution for manufacturing facilities. But the value of rooftop solar extends far beyond reducing electricity bills. In many industries today, energy is no longer just an operating expense. It has become a critical competitive factor. When energy prices rise, production costs increase, profit margins shrink, international competitiveness weakens. By generating part of their own electricity, manufacturers can reduce their exposure to energy price volatility and build a more stable foundation for long-term production planning. Another significant transformation is taking place quietly, but with far-reaching implications. It is being driven by the requirements of global customers. Increasingly, international brands are evaluating not only the quality of products, but also how those products are manufactured. How much renewable energy does the supplier use? What is its carbon footprint? Does it have a credible decarbonization strategy? These questions are becoming standard components of supplier qualification and procurement processes. As a result, rooftop solar is no longer viewed simply as an energy-saving project. It is becoming an essential element of corporate competitiveness and a key enabler for meeting the sustainability requirements of global supply chains. In Vietnam, this trend is unfolding as electricity demand continues to accelerate. Industrial parks are expanding. Factories are becoming increasingly automated. Electric vehicles, artificial intelligence, and data centers are placing additional pressure on the power system. Against this backdrop, generating part of a factory's electricity on site not only improves cost efficiency, but also strengthens business resilience against future energy market uncertainties. In many ways, rooftop solar is redefining the role of the factory roof. What was once merely part of a building is now becoming a productive business asset, a source of electricity, a strategic tool for energy cost management, and a new source of competitive advantage. However, reducing electricity costs is only the beginning. An even bigger question is emerging. Why are investment funds, banks, and multinational corporations increasingly favoring companies with robust sustainability strategies? Why has ESG become one of the most influential criteria in investment decisions? And why is ESG driving a new wave of investment into clean energy around the world? We'll explore these questions in our next episode. How ESG is driving the next wave of global investment in clean energy.